Welcome back to the channel. I'm Scott DIY and I'm vlogging my whole kitchen renovation. In this episode, I'm going to be painting the kitchen. To start with, I'm going to be using the sander. This is the setup that I've got. I've got the Henry Hoover connected in with this, I think it was off Amazon. It's like a little rubber insert and it goes into the orbital sander, and we're just going to take off some of the rough spots.
Pretty much all of the rough spots are around the doors and the windows, and I think that's because of my lack of experience on how to apply plaster in those places. I couldn't work out whether I needed to push plaster towards the edge bead or pull it away.
So I've probably spent about 15 minutes on that part. I haven't done all of the walls, I've only done the parts that I think are the most rough. The next part is to get the white emulsion, mix it with water, let's get the mist coat made, and then we can start getting a mist coat on the wall and sealing the surface.
So if you're paying attention, you might see that I add maybe a little bit too much water into my mist coat. If you're looking to make the perfect ratio of paint to water for a mist coat on newly plastered walls, you're supposed to be aiming for around 80-20 or 70-30, and that's 70% paint and 30% water. And looking back on this footage, I definitely think I added just a bit too much water in. To me, this looks more like a 40% water with 60% paint. And although that might be good for making your paint go further, it might not seal the surface of the plasterboard, so the colour coat or even the emulsion coat that goes on top of this might not adhere to the surface.
So although my kitchen has no flooring yet, I'm still going to be putting this down just to protect the floor and any of the other surfaces I've got in the room from getting splattered with the mist coat. I've also got a few other things which are all from Harris. Harris are a brand of paintbrushes that have been around for a really long time, and I've got this roller. It's their walls and ceilings 9-inch power coat roller, and this has got a bit of extra reach, so as you can see it's got a longer handle, and it's also got a thread in the bottom of this part, which means you can extend it so you can get the ceilings nice and easy. We're going to be using this angled brush. Again, this is walls and ceilings. It's a no loss brush. I'll just be going in all the corners, so cutting in with this brush. And then obviously I've got my paint tray, which I'm going to fill with all of this paint. So let's get cracking. Let's get you some paint then, and then we'll roll that on the wall. And then I'll clean that up so we don't stand in it.
Does anybody actually like doing this job, especially if you're doing it with a toddler? It feels like a lot of time and effort for very little reward. It is a key part in the painting process of a room, but it does take so long. The next stage after painting this mist coat is to paint it again with white emulsion. That gives you the clear surface to work from for your colour coat.
The mist coat was taking longer than expected, so I had to finish it another day. And that's exactly what I've just done. I've just finished the entire kitchen with the mist coat. At this point, you'll be able to see if the walls are as nice and flat, if there are any misses, and you can probably go about fixing some of those with either some filler or just giving it a light sand. The next step, which I'm about to get onto now, is the full emulsion coat. So that's the emulsion without any water mixed in, just straight onto the wall. This should make the walls brilliant white, which means it's primed and perfectly ready for the final coat of coloured paint. I've got some really beautiful coloured paint for this kitchen, so I can't wait to get to that stage. I'm hoping by the end of the day, it's a nice sunny day, the paint should dry quite quickly. I'm hoping I can get the whole room fully painted in just this one day. More difficult when you're filming, but I'm sure we can do it, so let's get to it. It's come towards the end of the day, and now every wall in the kitchen has had a mist coat and a coat of emulsion. So it's very white in here at the moment. There are some little bits that I want to patch up, bits where I've missed with the plastering, and bits that are just not take into the paint as well as I'd like it to. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait 2 to 4 hours for that to dry and then just touch it up so that tomorrow I can hit it with the actual colour. That's going to look unbelievable. But the room right now is looking 1,000 times better. So I've just painted the whole room twice. The first is the mist coat, the second is the emulsion coat, which is give it a really nice white surface for us to now put the colour on. And this is the colour that we've chosen. So this is by Neptune. It's not the original paint that we thought we were gonna, I was gonna paint this kitchen with, but we were blown away by the amazing colours that Neptune have got. And also we've heard that it's very good quality too. This is called Salt. It's a matte emulsion. It's quite a pale colour. We're gonna drench the room in this colour. So if you don't know what drenching a room is, that means that we're gonna do the ceiling, the walls, and even the skirting boards in this same colour. The only difference in the paint that I'll be using is any woodwork will be done in eggshell and the walls are going to be done in this matte emulsion. So let's start getting it on the walls.
If you're unsure about what painting tools to use, I'm going to include the full list of everything I use to apply this colour coat in the description. Although Nicole and I were really happy with the progress we were making on the renovation, we did want to just get this done. We were sick of living in a dump. This was truly a full circle moment for me, from physically building the block walls for the extension and continuing to push my abilities by installing all of the plasterboard, plastering the walls, and now finally coming to the stage where I can paint it all myself. The level of satisfaction can only be appreciated when you do something like this yourself.
The kitchen has finally been finished. It's been painted, and that means there's only a couple more things left to do to make it a room that we enjoy being in. One of them is we need to get some flooring down. That is in an upcoming video, a really special series about how I'm gonna lay limestone tiles in the kitchen. And then after that, we've got a load of cabinetry to do. So stick around. If you've liked this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.